Hello, hello again, my friend, and welcome to my media museum. Peter Frampton, do you feel like we do? Starting off part 3 of box 7, and the B-side of that, Penny for Your Thoughts. Both of those are from Frampton Comes Alive, so those are live versions of songs on previous albums. And you probably know the live album the best. Next up, grab them from the wrong stack. Don't want to do that. Get me all confused. Journey, Wheel in the Sky, keeps it turning. This was the first Journey song that I really liked and made me aware of the band. They got a lot bigger a little bit later with Don't Stop Believing and all that. But Wheel in the Sky was their first big hit for me. And the B-side of that being Can Do. You can do what you want. And that's definitely a good song as well. So, next up, we've got one that you don't come across too often. Patrick Hernandez, Born to Be Alive. Yeah, that's probably a bit more of dance music, disco thing, but it's still kind of a cool, upbeat, happy song. And the B-side of that being Too Many People. It's another one I would guess the guy's, in my world anyway, he's a one-hit wonder, because I couldn't tell you another song he did. But here's one that I really liked a lot, and Paper Must Be Tasty, because some critter liked that one. Alan Parsons Project, Games People Play. Now, I know we've covered a couple of their 45s in the past, and I've, commented about how I like Alan Parsons. They're kind of psychedelic pop to me. But Games People Play was a very commercial song, very popular. And the B-side of that being the Ace of Swords. And next up, we've got Billy Joel doing Big Shot, Did Ya? That's a really good Billy Joel song. And what's on the B-side of that? Root Beer Rag, which I'm not as familiar with, but sounds like my kind of song. I'm a big fan of root beer. I love the root beer. Not so much a fan of the real beer, but I like the root beer. And here's a great one you used to hear on the radio a lot. 8675309. Tommy Two-Tone with his song Jenny. And I suppose if that was in a movie these days, it'd have to be 5555309. And the B-side of that, Not Say Goodbye. So, there you go with the Tommy Two-Tone. And now this one is an Eagles. We got to the Eagles here, and it's an older one. It's on the white label. You might remember that the Most Thurs, they kind of expanded on that blue and made them a lot more colorful. But in 1972, this was the way it originally came out. And the B-side of it was Early Bird. So I know that one was reissued a number of times with different B-sides, but I do believe this was the first time. Coming up next, we got a couple of good old Bob Segers, and this time it's Fire Lake. And the B-side of Fire Lake was Long Twin Silver Line. Not sure what he's talking about there, unless it's maybe some railroad tracks. Long Twin Silver Lines. All right. We've got Bob Seger again doing Hollywood Nights with those Hollywood Hills. And the B-side being Brave Strangers. And yeah, I was a pretty good Bob Seger fan. I liked him all along. He's done a lot of really great things. A lot of great stuff over the years. Next up, 38 Special with Caught Up in You. And they had their period in the sun where they just one hit after another there. So I've got a number of 38 Special 45s. B-side of that one being Firestarter. But I don't know Firestarter as well as Caught Up in You, but I definitely do like the song Caught Up in You. Next up, Leonard Skinner doing What's Your Name? And I think we might have covered this one before. I'm going to try and get at it at an angle again so you can see it. But I remember the previous copy that I showed had a really, really bad label. And this one's in great shape. B-side being I Know a Little. You can see it there. But yeah, this 45 is in really great shape. Much better than the previous copy that I showed you in another video. Then we got the old Casablanca, which is usually a Kiss one, but in this particular case it's just in the wrong sleeve. Next sleeve matches it, so maybe I'll swap them. But Leonard Skinner's Double Trouble. And good old Skinner, they really had a lot of great songs. Gypsy Roll on the B side of that one. I most certainly did like the Skinnerd, and wasn't, a huge Southern rock fan, but Skinnerd was definitely one of the bands that turned me on to that type of music. Next up, kind of a little bit out of, definitely not Southern rock, The Who doing I Can See for Miles and Miles, and it's really, really worn. The B side of that is really, really hard to read. Mary Ann with the Shaky Hand. If I get it in the light just right, I can read it pretty good, but yeah, that's near impossible to see that on the camera. But that's what it is. Mary Ann with the Shaky Hand. Next up, we're definitely getting back into the classics here. With Dion doing The Wanderer. Yeah, The Wanderer. He gets around and around, and the B-side of town is The Majestic on the B-side. Then we got another Dion up next, which is probably his biggest hit in my opinion. Definitely my favorite song of his. Run Around Sue. Yep, I remember getting one of those old K-Tel records and it had this song on there, and I just played it over and over that day when I got it. And the B-side being Runaway Girl. How interesting. 2 runaways on 145. And here's another good Dion one, actually. Teen Angel, Teen Angel. Do. B-side of that, I Wonder Why. I wonder why he keeps on singing when he can't carry a tune. And here we go with another Gordon Lightfoot, Sundown, which again, I'm pretty darn sure we have covered Sundown previously, but I do believe the B-side on this one's different. Too Late for Praying. So, can't remember what was on the B-side of the previous copy I showed you, but it was not Too Late for Praying. Now, moving on, a little bit different again. Bonnie Tyler doing It's a Heartache, which would be, what, 80s pop, I would assume. Don't see the year on there, but pretty sure that was from the 80s. And the B-side being It's About Time. I don't know that song, but it makes me think of the old TV show. It's about time, it's about space, about time, strange people in the strangest place. And Chris D. Burr is coming up next with The Lady in Red, which has been from a couple of different album soundtracks, but I believe this was originally when it came out in '86, side A. I don't know, that movie Lady in Red was probably not long after '86, so what came first, the song or the movie? It's a good question sometimes. Like in the Love Potion number 9, it was clearly the song first, but B-side of this one is The Vision, which is noted as being from the same album, Into the Light. Not real familiar with Chris de Burgh, but I do know that song for sure. Next up, we've got a couple of Elton Johns, and this is on my favorite label, that Captain Fantastic label. Got a bit of wear, but it's a bright and colorful label, especially if you get a good, clean copy. Someone saved my life tonight. Someone saved my life tonight. For some reason I always want to drop the D off of saved. Going back to 1975, that's been a few years. B-side being House of Cards. And the next Elton John we got up here to share with you is A Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, on another one of these infamous rainbow labels. It's so hard to see, but it is Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. If I get it just right in the light, it does kind of jump out, but straight on, yeah, they can be a little hard to read. And Young Man's Blues being on the B side of that one. So, ooh. Next up, we've got an Elvis with a horrible amount of label wear. But it does say Elvis Presley. There goes my everything. And like I mentioned, I think in the previous episode, I have a ton of Elvis 45s. I could do multiple episodes for just Elvis. And when we get to them, we will. I got a lot of picture sleeves of his too. So every day and then we come across an Elvis Presley in the box, and I haven't been pulling them out and putting them aside like maybe I should. But when we get to them, trust me, I've got plenty of Elvis to share. And B-side being I Really Don't Want to Know. Okay. So, it might be a little bit different. But The Happening doing Go Away Little Girl. And I just like that Puppy Dog Records. That's cute. That's a pretty nifty little label there. And Tea Time being on the B side of that one. So I think we'll wrap it up here with RSO and Player from 1977 doing Baby Come Back. And that's what I want all of my viewers to do, is come back for that part 4. Because, I'm having a great time, and I hope you are too. B-side being Love Is Where You Find It. And hopefully you'll love to come back and see the next episode. See you then.